Welcome to Synthaholics. This is your host, David Duncan, and with me is...
What up, David? How you doing, man?
Wow, Brian, you clipped on your side.
I did. I'm clippable. I'm clippable, shippable, and clippable.
Well, you didn't clip on my side. You just, like, your
Oh,
your,
dang.
your voice just didn't come in.
I want a clip. That's my goal, but I think we brought this up last time that you took that ability away from me.
Yeah, you can't clip through my computer now. But
I have to.
you clipped on your computer because it didn't even, like, part of what you just said didn't even come through.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I'll have to work on that, I guess. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you, man? Man,
I'm doing pretty good.
we had an exciting, I guess, kind of couple of weeks with the news, because we podcast every 2 weeks, and we were talking last time about, I wonder if we'll hear anything about Lower Decks in the next couple of days. Like, literally hours after we finished podcasting, there was, like, an announcement for Lower Decks season, a trailer for Lower Decks season 3, and then an announcement that Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds be having a crossover event on Strange New Worlds season 2.
Still don't understand how that's gonna work.
Well, I'm guessing it'll. They said it's going to be animation and live action. So what I'm hoping is that it starts off on the Cerritos, and we've got Boimler and Mariner, like they do some time travel shenanigans to fix something that happens in the past to Pike or something.
Yeah, but how are they gonna show it?
And then they time travel, and then when they time travel back in time, they're live action.
Oh.
That's
I thought they were just okay.
That's my guess.
Okay, that might be the best way to do it. So, like, what's the realistic way?
Yeah,
what's the way they're actually good? They're just gonna put a little tiny animation of one of the characters just next to like the real character.
That would be really bad. I hope they don't do that. I hope it starts off animated. They go to the Enterprise. You see, Jack Quaid, and I can't remember the lady who plays Mariner in full costume.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Trying to blend in and trying to like save Pike or the Enterprise from some kind of calamity that what's not supposed to befall them. They're trying to stop it. It'll probably, I imagine they'll probably be trying to pay a homage to Trials and Tribulations, which was an episode of Deep Space Nine where they revisited the Trouble with Triples episode of the original series. So there's also time travel going back, preventing someone important from dying in the past.
All right, this is sounding like you're making this like your dream, and like that doesn't happen with this series or this IP.
It usually doesn't. I'm just guessing. Oh, I mean, they don't they don't really have any original ideas. So because this is not an original idea, they're just copying an idea that's happened before. That's why I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. Is because they're really good at copying other ideas with these new Star Trek
Maybe
series.
they'll listen to you right now, and they'll be like, you know what, he's right.
It's probably already done.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like season 2 has already started filming, so I mean,
they're gonna bring it in. They're bringing it in now.
It's either done or near done. Hopefully,
they're doing rewrites.
They should.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that show. I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah, it starts up I think in August. So
yeah,
for
pretty soon
for season 3 of Lower Deck. So I'm excited.
It's the end of August, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
so we'll probably talk about that in September.
Sounds about right.
End of September, something like that, because that show's pretty cool. We should talk about it.
Yeah, I really enjoy Lower Decks.
We also wanted to talk about a little bit more about Comic-Con, even though we're like kind of late.
Well, it was happening as we were podcasting last week, so
yeah. So we had our DC event, and boy, they had a lot going on, huh? They had the Shazam and Black Bolt.
What? They didn't bring out a giant timeline of 600 movies they're working on?
No. There's the only thing I don't really care. I'm pretty sure Black Bolt's gonna be bad. The Rock seem to be working on Black Bolt with his studio or his company, whatever. It's like $7 Studios or Black Adam. Yeah,
Black Bolt's played by Captain Christopher Pike and had his brains blown out by Wanda Maximoff.
Yes. All these superheroes are getting confusing nowadays. But the Rock's production company's been working on this movie for like 10 years, and it's The Rock, so like it's not gonna be that good, I don't think. But what bothered a lot of people was that he got booed, and this clip didn't go around too much. He got booed because he hinted that Henry Cavill wasn't going to be playing Superman anymore, or he wasn't going to be in this movie, or something about him not being associated with Superman, and people seem to really like Henry Cavill now compared to when he first started.
I never disliked Henry Cavill. He was pretty jacked and he looked like a pretty good
Oh yeah, no,
Superman.
he was fine, but it was kind of like he was just like, yeah, he looks like Superman. That's about it. And then people were like, and then as the years have gone on and he's played other roles and done other things, people are like, no, this is the guy. It's like we can't go away from him now.
This is the guy. Henry Cavill is a great Superman. He's great in The Witcher. And the fact that he's such a nerd and he's played The Witcher 3 16 times and built his own computer and added new fans recently because it's hot.
It is hot, and that's probably because he lives in England, and it's been hot there. It's been really hot.
So
yeah, so hopefully he, I don't know. I really hope they do bring him back. I've always liked him, but
yeah,
we'll see.
I think he's a good actor. So I would like to see
They
him back.
had creative differences. The Henry Cavill and whoever is the power of Superman, whoever controls Superman, they've had creative differences. Probably because Henry Cavill actually wants to tell a story.
Because Henry Cavill wants to do it right, and all the powers that be don't.
Yeah, they just want to maximize profit as much as possible, which I guess it's fine for them, bad for us. There was also a Shazam trailer.
I liked the first Shazam. It was probably one of my favorite DC movies. I mean, it's up there with Wonder Woman.
What about The Dark Knight? Is it up there with The Dark Knight?
I mean, of the new universe. Dark Knight doesn't count because Dark Knight's old
it's its own thing.
Canon, I guess. But I mean, of the new DCEU, I guess, it is one of my favorite movies because it's way better than Aquaman. And Batman versus Superman and Justice League.
Yeah, Shazam kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't really know anything about Shazam, and then Shazam came out. I was like, oh, this wasn't bad. And also for anybody who's listening, the director has a YouTube channel called Pony Smasher. You don't have to really like Shazam to like his YouTube channel, but if you go to it, he shows you behind the scenes. He does vlogs about the movies and stuff he's working on. He's really interesting. It's really cool. So I don't know, check it out.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But they have announced DC that they are wanting to do a 10-year MCU-ish plan now. I guess they're about 15 years late to that party.
We're gonna get another Batman origin movie, hopefully.
Well,
can we just I'm getting so tired of Batman, man. Just get him out of here.
Well, Ben Affleck is still going to be Batman, and at least in Aquaman too. So we have 3 different Batman continuities going on.
I thought he wasn't doing it anymore.
We've got Batfleck in Aquaman 2. We've got the Batman, Brighton Pattinson, and then we've got the Joker, which is a third Batman universe, I guess, because it doesn't tie into the other 2 at all. It also doesn't tie into the Keaton verse or the Dark Knight verse. So we've got 5 different Batman universes all happening at the same time. That's too many Batman universes.
I'm tired of Batman, man.
Stop
tired of
rebooting Batman.
Do Green Lantern and bring back Ryan Reynolds and Martian Manhunter and just show anything about him because he seems cool and I don't know anything about him. I know he's scared of fire and Superman said that he's scared of him because he's super powerful. So, but it's hard to make a DC movie. It's harder than a Marvel movie, at least I think, because DC characters are greater than it's not a knock at Marvel, but DC characters are generally more powerful or more towards God status than Marvel characters are. So it's hard. It would be hard to tell a story for how would you, I know they're doing the Flash and stuff, but the Flash would probably, I don't know if this will make anybody upset, but he probably would just destroy the Avengers, right? Would anybody be able to do anything? Or is he just wins a nanosecond?
Well, Quicksilver wouldn't, because Quicksilver isn't fast enough to outrun gunfire.
Yeah, so he's not gonna be able to do anything. Is there anybody in the Justice League that wouldn't be able to just one shot the Avengers? I don't know, man. That's just my take. I can't think of it. maybe I'm missing a couple of people. Like maybe Cyborg probably can't, but like I don't know much about Cyborg. But it just seems DC characters are generally just written as like more towards gods than
Well, I
humans.
mean, Captain Marvel's basically a god.
Yeah, I guess Captain Marvel
She's
would be a
basically the
problem.
Superman of the Marvel, which is why they always keep her far away from everybody else, because she's so much stronger than everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. That's really only that's my take. That was that was the DC conference. Marvel had showed a lot.
Mesmerizing.
It was. I'm still thinking about. That's why we started with it because I'm still thinking about it.
Can't get it. It's too many.
I
Things.
have hope. I have hope for DC. I still have hope after all these years, but man, they just keep letting me down. I've always been a bigger DC fan than Marvel, but
I don't know. It's just strange that they're talking just now about trying to do a long-term 10-year plan, like Marvel's been doing. And the thing is, Marvel, like Phase 4 has been kind of a disappointment, as we've mentioned, and for some reason, I know we mentioned it last time, that other media outlets are just now starting to like realize or talk about how Phase 4 has kind of like been lackluster, and like Phase 4 is like really, it might be kind of creating some superhero fatigue burnout. So it's kind of a bad time for DC to be like, we're gonna do it right now. Right? Who knows?
we're gonna do it right.
They might still do it wrong, but we can only hope that they get their act together and actually start doing it right.
We'll see. But Marvel, yeah. So they're announcing. God, it's not. It is superhero fatigue. We've kind of been
Phase 5 and 6.
Yeah, and still Phase 4. We've been tossing around the idea that, and we're not the only ones. Everybody has been saying kind of the same thing. Is like these superhero movies are getting kind of like, but we all keep going to see them. So,
well, it's also partly like the only thing that's out.
that is true, especially when Marvel announces that, what is it, like 18? It's like 15 to 20 Marvel movies next year. That's a lot, man. That's like, I don't know. I feel like they're like, as much as we podcast, I feel like there's gonna be ones we're gonna miss. There's a what's that? What was the villain in Wanda? She's got a movie.
Agatha. No, she's got a TV show.
A TV show like that. I don't care.
The House of Harkness.
Yeah, that I don't care, man. Like I don't really want to see that at all.
I don't care either.
Why they have to make a show about her? Was she like that much? Who'd they poll? Like what group of people did they poll where they're like, we want more of this lady?
I have no idea.
Okay.
You got me, man.
But there are some other stuff.
I still haven't even watched Hawkeye.
I haven't either. Because who cares about Hawkeye?
Yeah, like Hawkeye should have died in Endgame, and Scarlet and not Scarlet Witch, Black Widow should still be alive.
I think Loki really was the only show where I was like, that was good. I think the other ones were like, it was okay, they were good, but like Loki, I was like, I want more. Like immediately after the last episode, I'm like, give me more.
Well, Loki was the only one that was moving the story forward. It still is the only one that's really moving. I mean, granted, all the other ones are introducing new characters, and that's all they're really doing. They're just kind of like backdoor introducing.
Well, they have to.
New characters instead of giving them their own movie or their own show. Which
they got Moon Knight now. They can use Moon Knight whenever they want now. He's just going to pop up in places.
They can just pull him out, which is good. I mean,
out of their bag of tricks. Because he was really cool. He was really cool.
He was cool. Just the show wasn't great.
Yeah. So the last movie of Phase 4 is Black Panther, which comes out in a couple months here.
What did you think of that trailer, Brian?
Well, I remember I didn't watch it yet, and you watched it like a day before I saw it. I forgot what I was doing. Oh, I don't remember why I didn't see it.
We went to the golf tournament.
Yeah, we were at a golf tournament. I watched it there, and you're like, it's Avatar, and it's like pretty much why I don't understand. Like, wasn't I think I asked you then at the golf tournament too? Was like, aren't they in like the middle of Africa? Why are they like by the ocean now?
Because Namor is in it.
Yeah, apparently I don't know. Whoever the heck that is.
It's Marvel's Aquaman.
Also, fun fact: Tony Stark is like not even close to as rich as Black Panther was for like, you know, people who the movie has portrayed that Iron Man is like super duper rich, but like Mr. T'Challa, because that's his name. That was his name, right? T'Challa.
Yes.
He's worth like $90 trillion.
Well, he's also the king of the nation that that has the most rarest metal, and they're also completely secret. I don't know where do they get this money from if they're completely secret and cut off from the rest of the world.
I don't know. Maybe they got that stone meteor, right? Oh God, I can't think of whatever the name of it is.
Yeah, but it's whatever Captain America shield's made of. Adamantium? I don't know. Whatever.
No, that's not it.
That's Wolverine's paws.
That's what Wolverine's made out of. But they have they had I also wanted to bring this up. They had Chadwick Boseman's Twitter account tweet saying like Wakanda forever. How do you feel about that? Like he's been gone for about a year, and they tweeted like yesterday, or maybe not quite yesterday, but they tweeted saying like on his account saying like you go see the Black Panther movie Wakanda forever. Distasteful?
A
What's
little
my
bit.
take?
I think so because I feel like even before Chadwick Boseman passed, I feel like I've seen like a clip of him saying he kind of gets tired of doing the this.
He was he
like
was
he
getting
was
tired
he
of
was
it.
like and like he had only been in like like one or two movies at that point, and he's like I'm getting
You
tired
could
of
see
this.
it in his face because
Yeah, it's just like
we used to pass memes to each other where it was like it showed like him starting as Black Panther, where you could see it in his face. He's like, yeah, you know, Black Panther or Wakanda forever, and then like a year passed, and it showed the same type of picture where he's doing like the Wakanda forever thing, and his face is just like,
kill me,
I've
kill me
done this
now.
2 million times. But yeah,
Yeah, given his personal feelings on like yeah sure I mean he was an actor and he was employed by Marvel and Disney and did their thing. I don't know if it's right, especially since he was like visibly growing tired of like doing the publicity to use
well, yeah, I would imagine you would be. Can you imagine
to
everywhere you go, you have to like
doing
do an
that
act?
doing that every single time, which
Yeah.
it wasn't even original because Wonder Woman did it first.
Whoa! Don't take stuff. Marvel is better than DC. Okay.
Yeah, but Wonder Woman did it first. Wonder Woman did it before Black Panther.
I don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. So after, yeah, the trailer was fine. I guess I'm sure we'll see
It was a bad
'cause-
trailer because just like the Avatar trailer, where they showed a bunch of stuff, but didn't do anything with it. Just
Well, they're
a
taking
bunch of
like the
random
Christopher
scenes.
Nolan path. That's how Christopher Nolan does his trailers with his movies. Unless I don't know, maybe not the Batman movie. I don't remember what that trailer was. But every Interstellar, Tenet, all those movies, he shows like 15 seconds, and then like that's all you get until like the movie comes out. But maybe I just at least I have more trust in Christopher Nolan that he's gonna like actually be able to perform and make like a good movie. I don't know.
I don't know. And I personally, I thought the first Black Panther was overrated. Everyone just raved and raved about how good this movie was, and it was like
It wasn't bad.
it was
It was better.
mediocre.
It was better than the average one, I think.
For me. It was right in that average middle, not great, not terrible.
It had Michael B. Jordan, who's a fantastic human being. He was the villain. I hope they bring him back.
Well,
I hope he's the new Black Panther.
the fact that they killed Smeagol kind of made me sad. I think the movie lost the whole point and a half because they killed Smeagol.
Andy Serkis is a good actor, man.
I
Like you
love-
think he's just like this like live behind the scenes like monkey Smeagol guy, but like he actually is a good actor too.
He's a great actor. I love Andy Serkis, and they just like got rid of him in the first movie. He's in. I'm like,
He's Venom
aw.
too, right?
He was the,
Isn't he's voice? He's the voice of Venom. Isn't he? He's somewhere. He's somehow in Venom. I think.
he directed Venom too.
Oh, was that it? Okay, I can't remember exactly. I'm gonna get all these too many confusing things, but yeah, he's really cool. I'd like to meet him one day. I don't know. That's just somebody I would like to like meet. Just like shake his hand and be like, "Hey, man, thanks."
Hey man, you're awesome.
then just run away.
Yeah, I would like to. I would like to meet Andy Serkis also. He's great. He seems like a great guy.
Yes.
Very talented man. And so I was sad. Black Panther lost a point and a half for killing Smeagol.
The only before we move on to our main topic, which is our behind the scenes thing, or behind our backgrounds, is the Ant-Man trailer. I think I told you that I didn't see it yet, and I've been informed and have been shown receipts that I did in fact see Ant-Man 2. I just do not remember any of it. The receipts have been shown. Apparently, I did go see it in theaters. I don't remember any of it though, so
Well,
I'm excited for the third one.
don't worry. They'll kill Ant-Man in the third one probably.
I don't think they're gonna kill him.
I think.
Doesn't he? He's got like a whole like universe now. He's got to be like the king of it. Maybe that's where they're gonna put Kang. They're just gonna lock him in there, and then Ant-Man. They'll just stop making Ant-Man content.
Well, Kang is gonna be in the film, so I don't know if Ant-Man's going to stand up to Kang, unless he does the
super deluxe.
Unless he does The Boys season 4, where he crawls up inside the guy and it gets big and explodes.
Yeah,
which I think should be. I mean, basically Ant-Man should have done it to Thanos. Lots of like really easy ways to kill these bad guys. Like Ant-Man could just do that to any bad guy that they face.
What? Yeah,
like,
but you
like it's such an easy win, and like they never do it.
I have mixed feelings on that. That's not like, come on now. That's
It's
not,
such an easy win.
it is an easy win, but like with that, I could see the argument for Thanos.
He doesn't have to pick that orifice. He could pick any orifice as long as he's
Well, no,
inside them and
yeah, it
goes
doesn't
big.
matter.
Yeah, any orifice, nose, ears, mouth.
The argument for killing Thanos, fine. I'm cool with that. You know, if they want to ruin the movie and do it that way, that's cool. But like Kang, I don't like. He's like a time guy. I feel like that. Like he could kill him and then he would just show up again. Didn't he die at the end of Loki? And he came back and the whole world changed or something. I don't know. I don't remember what happened.
He wanted to die at the end of Loki, and once because he was keeping all his variants in check and preventing other timelines to go off. As soon as he died, he was no longer preventing the other timelines from splitting, and thus his variants are going to start taking over the universe again.
Okay.
Which is how the end of Loki ended. Sure, I mean as long as Ant-Man explodes one of Kang, that would be pretty fun, and then Kang kills him, because I'm pretty sure.
Actually,
like,
you know what? Let's put that out into the universe. Let's put it out there. Let's get it out there. Kevin Feige, we know, is a big listener.
Yeah.
Let's get it out there because that would be that would please the fans, and it would just be good.
Yeah,
He doesn't have to die that way, but have just like one Kang die that way.
Have one Kang die by Scott Lang being inside of him and blowing him up. Yes. Whichever orifice he wants to go in. I'm sure it'll.
I don't know how they're going to show that, though.
I'm sure it'll be the nose or the ear because Disney's like very PG.
How are they going to show blowing up though? That's going to be difficult. It's going to be real hard to show that in a PG-13 movie.
It'll probably just crawl inside the head, just explode the head, not the whole body. It's easier to show just the head exploding than entire body explosions. That's much more gore in the entire body.
Yeah, I still don't know how they're going to show that, like in a PG-13 format. Maybe they'll just have like 7 pieces of head just go out with no blood.
Yeah, something like that. Something
like
cheesy.
that.
It would be
That'd
nice
be cool.
It would be nice to see Ant-Man get a fatality and then get smacked down because I know you don't like film theory. He did a theory on Ant-Man dying, but the thing is, like, it's really not that far-fetched. It's pretty much film fact at this point. He's one of the older actors in the MCU still. It seems like they're trying to replace the entire MCU with a whole bunch of young people. America Chavez.
Well, they have to. What do they can't just keep having, besides Chris Hemsworth, who wants to do it forever just to beat Wolverine. Or Hugh Jackman.
Well, I'm not saying that, but I mean, like, they're like the cast is so much younger. I mean, like, everyone that started was pretty much middle aged, like when they started.
Oh, you're just talking about age in general. I thought you meant like how many movies
they're casting really young. Like, everyone is super young. Who's like,
well, not every. I mean, Moon Knight isn't.
Well, no, but I mean, a lot of like America Chavez is pretty young. The new Miss Marvel, she's a kid. I mean, like, a lot of these new characters they're establishing are kids. I mean, like, Moon Knight is one of the middle-aged people.
Gotta indoctrinate them early, man. Gotta get them in early. And they'll get us out. Our story's done. It's time for this. It's time for the
Zoomers. It's like they went straight from like boomers to Zoomers. They skipped the millennials. as
Yeah,
far
they
as like
skipped.
the age range of the people in the movies. Pretty funny.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of other stuff that they showed. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that like I know what all of them mean, like all the titles and all the characters. It seems like that's what a lot of people like to do online. Or they're
They
like,
threw
I've
a
been waiting
lot.
15 years for the Agatha movie. Like, okay, dude, like we get it. You know everything about Marvel and you want to flex on people, but I don't. I mean, Daredevil. They're bringing back Daredevil. I know that guy.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about that, and they showed him in the She-Hulk, the new
Yeah,
She-Hulk
She-Hulk
trailer.
trailer.
The new She-Hulk trailer looks a lot better than the first She-Hulk trailer.
Yeah, it does look a bit better.
I will say that. And then she's breaking the she's
Fourth wall.
the new Deadpool. She's gonna be breaking the fourth wall,
Yep. Yep.
and she's a bigger, better, stronger, better Hulk, which I mean is fine.
Well, we'll see. We haven't seen the show yet. Don't come on now.
Well,
Don't.
but I mean, they showed them like doing training montage, and she was doing everything so much easier and better than Bruce Banner. So I'm guessing she's going to be a better, faster Hulk, which is fine. I mean, I'm sure Mark Ruffalo probably is going to want out sooner or later. So I mean, they're just like setting up to replace all the characters.
These like OG Avenger first edition characters, Pokemon cards. They've been doing it for like 10 years now. A lot of them probably are kind of like, I've made $200 million. I've told my story. I'm good. We can't make a Hulk movie because I'm not popular enough.
Well,
Like, I wanna,
well, that's the thing. Like they can't do solo Hulk movies. I think because the rights are still tied up at Universal to do a solo Hulk movie, which is why
it's one of those things.
which is why Hulk has just had to be like a cameo. Like he can't have his own movie.
I mean, to be fair though, do you like disagree that like, he probably wouldn't do like super good budget wise or box office wise? I feel like it wouldn't do
I
that
mean,
great. I mean, we already had Hulk movies before and they kind of weren't good.
They weren't great.
Not movies, I'm talking about like money wise. They didn't make a lot of money.
Oh,
And I don't know if that's just because they were bad or whatever, but yeah, there's Daredevil, Blade, Loki.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a Captain America coming. I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
It's Falcon.
Oh, that would be real good then.
That's what the whole, remember the whole show Falcon and the Winter Soldier was setting up that Falcon was with the next Captain America, even though that was painfully obvious at the end of Endgame.
I don't want to believe that though. I don't want to believe that.
They wasted 8 hours or 10 hours of our lives resetting up what we already knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know how that movie's gonna go. I don't really know anybody who that likes Anthony Mackie. Like just as a person, like he just seems like kind of not a nice guy. I don't know. Everybody I've ever brought up to, they're like, I'm good. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see him be Captain America. There's other stuff. Don't know the name of it. Don't know anything about it. Maybe I'll see it. Maybe I won't.
I just don't know how it's going to be that interesting because he's just a regular guy. He's not like supered up like Captain America was. So
he's got a shield though, and that's all that matters. It's all about like loyalty to the brand.
All hail the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, that's all you need. I don't know either. We'll see. I don't know. Marvel's been able to make everything at least average, or most things, if not everything, average. I can't think of anything where it's just like downright bad.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's probably something. I'm sure there's something out there. There's been like 75 movies. I can't think of everything.
The first two Thor movies were kind of just bad.
There we go. There we go. And okay, how about the next two though? Those are pretty. Those are pretty good.
And then those have been the better of the Thor movies and better of the Marvel movies in general.
I do want more Chris Hemsworth as Thor though. I think he might be my favorite. Well, I feel like ever since Ragnarok, that's what everybody defaults to. Is just like, yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, ever since Taika Waititi has made Thor into a comedian, it's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, he's great now.
Thor just needs to have heavy metal and comedy, and that's all I need from Thor.
Let him do his thing.
Yeah,
and make him work out a ton. The dude's ripped. Anyway, any more things for Comic-Con?
No,
I can't. I don't know enough to talk about anything else.
Those are some of my big takeaways.
Stranger Things. So, I feel like we were kind of in a rut here. We're trying to figure out what we were gonna, podcast on or talk about because I don't know, we've been busy and we haven't been able to watch a ton of stuff or movies or there's not a ton of stuff coming out that we're interested in right now. I don't know. We've got a lot going on in our lives behind the scenes.
Well, Bullet Train came out, but I haven't had a chance to see it yet, and
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either. So maybe we'll talk about that next time. But in the meantime, we have our good old Stranger Things. We were gonna originally talk about all 4 of them. I'm sure we can sprinkle some 1, 2, and 3 seasons in there, but I don't think, at least I don't know enough, or I can't remember enough about the first 3 seasons where I could talk about it in detail.
well,
I don't know about you.
Well, I binge watched 1 through 3 with my wife because she was told by someone at her where she's working right now to that she needs to watch it so they could talk about it. So we binge watched 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Wow, that's a lot of Stranger Things.
Yeah. It's good though. It's a good though. It's a solid series overall.
Yeah, so when season 1 came out, this is where it became like this is one of the best shows ever.
Oh yeah.
And then it felt like after that, and then I know there's people that said that. I still remember like this quote from Red Letter Media was season 2 came out. They didn't know what to do after season 1, so that happened. Or it was something like that. It was because it did feel like that. It was like a lost direction after season 2 because they didn't know what. It felt like they didn't know what to do with the success of season 1, and then they slowly were able to make season 4 into something that's on par with season 1, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Season 4 is on par, or maybe even better than season 1, in my opinion. I thought it was really, really well done.
No, the only problem I have with season 4 is some of these episode lengths. They're not episodes, man. Those aren't episodes.
It's got like 3 or 4 movies built into the season.
They just made movies instead of TV shows.
Yeah, season 4 is a couple movies strung together that just pick up immediately after each other. Actually, the only thing that bothers me about that in concept is that all of them have been your regular show length before, right? So, like, I was putting one on before work, and I'm like, this isn't over yet. Why is this not over yet? And it's like, oh, I guess got to watch the rest of it later because I got to go to work. And I was just like, I figured I had time but then it's like, oh, there's still an hour and a half of this episode left. Whoops. Like,
well, that's the problem. That's the problem with us being adults is that it's like, for people that are still in school or whatever, they can sit down and just watch the whole thing all at once. For us, it was too long for me because it's like I got a limited amount of hours in the day where I can do what I want. It's like you got to work, you got to do all this other stuff. So it's like if I decide where I'm gonna watch Stranger Things episode, that's what I'm doing for that day. It's like I can't do anything else because after that it's kind of like bedtime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the thing is, conceptually, it's a good idea because I feel like not many shows really take advantage of the streaming platform. You don't have to be 45 minutes or 22 minutes. Like, you can make it as long as you need to get what you need done to tell the story you're trying to tell. And while, I don't know if there's any reason they couldn't have cut them up into 1-hour episodes, especially the last episode that was like 3 hours long. Like, that could have easily been cut up into like at least 2 1.5-hour episodes. I don't know. I don't know if they're like, if Netflix tells them they can only do so many episodes, and so they just like, okay, we're stuck to this many episodes, so
we can only do 6 episodes, so we'll just make each one 4 hours long.
Yeah. So like maybe there's some weird stuff like that. I don't know. Like, having some flexibility in your runtime is fine, but like making them like that much longer was a little bit weird, but I really didn't mind. And even though the last episode was almost 3 hours, it had good flow. It was entertaining all the way through. Yeah. I didn't feel like it needed to be chopped up, other than the fact that, wow, this is a really long time. Although it's just weird because we would watch three episodes in a row anyway, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, because we're not seeing the credits every 50 minutes, it's like, whoa, something's weird.
Something's not right. You think the episode's like starting to die down. You're like, okay, we're getting to like a peak where it's probably going to be a cliffhanger, or we're going to get to the end of the episode, and then you look and there's like 45 minutes left.
Yeah, it was
picks right back up.
It's like, oh wow, yeah. Well, that's how it was on the day I was watching it before work, and I was like, oh crap, I guess I have to watch this later.
And this is really, I think this is the only show that has done this. I can't think of anything else.
I've never seen a show take that much liberty with the streaming, making the episodes longer. One show that did take some liberties was Arrested Development season 4 and 5, I guess. Whatever the most recent Netflix only Arrested Development seasons were, those episodes were longer, and they were less effective because they weren't as snappy and fun. Because they had extra time to play with, they just bloated the episodes. And what made the first couple seasons of Arrested Development work so well is because they did have commercials. They had to be way more snappy, and something was just missing when the Netflix brought the show back. They weren't as snappy,
Yeah.
and it was because the episodes were double the length. And it just
I'll do it.
Yeah, instead of 22 minutes, they're like 35, 40 minutes. And I'm like, it's not as funny. It's not as snappy. Like, sometimes having those commercials and having those restrictions, especially in a comedy show, they kind of force you to be snappier and funnier. But on a story drama like Stranger Things, take all the time you need to tell the story well.
Yeah. And that's what I think they're going with another season, right? And or
Season
the
5,
Duffer Brothers are done with it, and they're giving it to somebody else. Or
Season
something?
5 is the last season that the Duffer Brothers are doing. I think it's just done at season 5.
Okay, because I know they made their own production company, and they're gonna make stuff that's not them that involves the Upside Down and all that. They're gonna like really expand out what the Upside Down is.
I've heard there's going to be a spinoff, but I also heard the Duffer Brothers are going to be working on a Death Note show. No, not Death Note. I think it is Death Note.
You're right.
It was Death Note show. Yeah.
Yep. And it's going to be under their production company or something. I don't know what's going on.
So hopefully it'll be better than that live action abomination that came out a couple of years ago.
Why even bother? I don't know, man. Just watch the anime. Like, nothing's going to be, like, realistically, if we're being real with ourselves, is anything going to beat the anime? No. The anime sucks halfway through, but, like...
But that's what I mean.
Like,
but it does suck halfway through. Like, the last half does suck. So if the Duffer Brothers can make the last half not suck...
I don't know, man.
That's what I'm
why,
hoping
you
for.
think they could do it live action, though? I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, that's the thing. When you make a movie out of Death Note, you can't make a movie out of like a 2-season show that like has like big payoffs multiple times in the first season and you can't build that drama in that short amount of time. You gotta build that over time. And I think the Duffer Brothers are pretty good at building drama. So
they are good at building drama,
and they've got they've got the this guy, and I think if they can do this guy and the Demigorgons, they can do Shimigami.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Shimigami, but there's something anime or animation can do that live action or real can't. Is like the scene that I first thought of is in Death Note. There's a scene where L is like writing a bunch of stuff and they're like zooming around him with the camera and his arms like going all over the place. You can't do that in real life, which adds to the drama of the anime, which makes the anime good because you can do that little extra drama stuff that you can't do in real life.
You can do it. You can do it CG.
I guess it's probably gonna look a little weird.
I mean, I don't know.
Because you can mess with like perspectives, like you can mess with like the length of somebody's arm in animation, where like you can make people like bendy and show a little bit more exaggeration than you can in real life.
Mm.
We'll see what they do. I don't know. I mean, I'll watch it probably because Death Note was good. I liked Death Note.
And the Duffer Brothers are good. I really enjoyed Stranger Things. For me, the worst season was 3, only because it was such a giant shift in tone, and like all of a sudden there's a mall. And like,
oh yeah,
and there's like 100 new characters, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, what happened? I thought this was like a middle of nowhere, like 15, 20 people hick town, and then all of a sudden, there's a mall within bicycling distance from their town. Like, and it was a big mall. Like,
it was a popular mall.
I've lived in rural areas, and been to malls. Malls where I lived were not nearly that big in rural areas. Let me tell you.
That's a fact. I can promise you that.
I mean, even in Jackson, Mississippi, which was the biggest city in Mississippi at the time when I lived there, like the one mall was pretty dingy comparatively.
Well, I think I think the mall that's in Wonder Woman is the same mall that was in
It looked
Stranger Things.
familiar. It looked familiar. Yeah, I think it was also
Yeah.
in what was that women's wrestling show on Netflix that they canceled? I really liked it.
You watched it. I didn't watch it. It had Allison
Yeah,
Brie in it.
yeah, Allison Brie. Yeah, her.
Yeah.
I liked that show a lot. And I was really sad that they canceled it because it ended on a cliffhanger.
Well, that's how Netflix does their shows.
Hmm.
A lot of them just kind of get to that like season 2 or season 3, and they're like, "All right, we're done.
We're
Exit."
done. Allison Brie was
Something
so
else.
good in it, though.
I forgot what the name of it was, though. I don't remember what the name
I
of it
can't
was.
remember that. I can't.
It was so good. You can't remember the name of it.
I really enjoyed the show. I just don't remember the name.
Glow.
Glow. Yeah, it's been off the air for multiple years.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
So what'd you think of the spook factor? Because in season 1, it was kind of like E for everyone, and then it slowly became something that was like, oh, this is this isn't E for everyone anymore.
well, my wife, like, even in season 1, she's like, "This is a horror show." I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if
Oh,
it's really
really?
horror. I'm like, I feel like season 1 and 2 were more like a suspense show. Then season 3, it inches more
Season
to
3
horror.
got spookier, and then season 4 is definitely the most spooky.
And then season 4 just goes like basically full on horror. Yeah, they definitely, like, the tone changed as the kids got older.
Yeah. I mean, the way that Vecna, or should we spoil it? Number
The,
1?
the way he drinks this thing is so menacing. I can't.
Yeah,
I'm
he's really
scared.
scary there. But the way he kills people, like that's the way to do it. Just like bend like their whole body into like a pretzel.
It reminds me of the Corridor Crew whenever they did the Harry Potter rated R, and they had
Oh, yeah. Turn him into a
They
ball.
turned Harry Potter into a basketball, and they slam dunked him. That's very much how I wonder if they watched that whenever they were doing Stranger Things.
I'm sure they
season four.
have.
Like,
I'm sure they have. A lot of people. They have a lot of people on that VFX artists or stuntman actors. They have a lot of like big names in there that randomly will show up on those episodes. It's not like they're getting like small Hicktown people. They're getting people that like worked on like
big stuff.
these like they're good friends with the stunt actor that is Black Panther.
Yeah.
So they're not getting like small people. They're like Avatar level people.
They got Adam Savage. They get people from Weta. They get all sorts of
Yeah.
people.
What is the Lord of the Rings and Avatar people?
Mm-hmm.
What is pretty cool. I did try to buy their sword once. Side note, their swords are they're expensive.
What?
Yeah, they're real. They're like real swords. They cost like $12,000. So if you ever go to their website, they have high quality stuff. I would assume so if it costs that much.
Yeah, if it's also from Weta, yeah, it's pricey.
It's the real deal. So, did you see where this was going, season 4? Because I didn't really. They had kind of a plot. I don't know what episode it was, but the plot twist when our Mr. Vecna here behind you became kind of like the villain. Did you see that? Did you see that coming? Because I didn't. I knew that they're gonna start exploring the Upside Down in the next season. I thought this character was gonna be explained in the next season. They were just gonna have to deal with him for. Now I didn't think he was actually gonna be, somebody that like Elle grew up with, kind of.
It wasn't that far-fetched. It seemed like it had to be something like that. And like whenever we saw him just in like, because they had all these flashbacks earlier on where he's just like talking to her. He seemed like a really shady guy the entire time he was talking to Eleven. I'm like, like, is he like a child molester? It's like, no, he's this.
That's what I thought too. Because there was a scene where like they were beating him, and like I was like, are they gonna show him touching a kid now, or like? That's exactly what I thought when he was getting like beat up in like the corner or whatever.
It was weird and creepy, but no, it's not as creepy. He's just this. He's not actual child molester. He just wants to murder a child and other children.
Well, he didn't want to murder. He wanted Elle to join him.
Yes. In murdering the other ones, because he does that anyway.
Is there anything that bothered you? There is something in season 4 that did bother me.
I think the biggest thing that bothers me was the fact that Susie has access to the internet.
Okay, all right.
She
does have access to the internet.
I mean, granted, the internet existed in the 80s, but it was like
It didn't really exist.
I don't think it existed in households. I think it was like businesses and government like exclusively. Like,
Can you imagine if we went back to the 80s with what we know now about the internet? Oh my god, we could probably destroy stuff. We'd probably be billionaires.
go back.
We'd have to be a little shady with our actions, but like I feel like if you dropped me in like 1982, man, somebody would lose a lot of money in their bank accounts. The one thing that really bothered me is that one's powers here. Why is he so much powerful? And they're not explained. They're not explained really.
Oh,
That's my problem. He's so much more stronger. Like I thought like 11 was like, oh my god, she like lifts up the car. This dude's like on like he's literally like Wanda.
yeah.
he's like Wanda level strong.
I guess I do have something that does bother me. The fact that she lost her powers in the first place and then just gets them back. Like, I don't like that trope, especially since they took so long to get her powers back in this season. Like, it was like a multi-long episode arc.
And she doesn't come back any stronger either. She's just kind of like the same. Like, I don't feel like her powers have been really that elevated.
I feel like they said they elevated them, but like it doesn't
didn't feel like it
doesn't really come across. And maybe we'll see something next time, but I don't know. Like it doesn't feel like she's any stronger, but they said she should be. So I guess.
Well, she is stronger because she did like take down a helicopter.
I guess we'll see. I mean, I feel like that was within her realm of power before.
I guess. I mean, she's definitely not on this guy's level, Vecna's level, or whatever. One's level. This guy's on a completely different, like, planet. This guy's...
he's in a higher realm of reality.
Yeah, he's higher above reality. He's doing whatever he wants. But the way he gets his powers are not explained, and the way the children get their powers are not explained either.
Well, I think he had them innately.
Yeah, how? Why? Where? Who? What?
I don't know. He had them innately. He killed his mother, framed his father, killed his sister, and then he happened upon Papa, or Papa happened upon him somehow. And I think he was trying to copy one's power and put it into other kids. Or
how?
like,
that's not explained.
Yeah, they didn't really.
He just like, what did he? Do they take some blood out of him and put him into another kid?
Well, I think they just.
Where these kids come from?
I think they just injected a bunch of pregnant ladies with his DNA.
Really? So I mean,
I don't know.
I guess that would work.
It's not specifically said, but I mean, like, they had just given what we know about 11 and her mom and how like she was like, they basically like toasted her brain so she would be non-responsive, but she kind of had some powers too because she was reaching out. So I don't know how she has powers. Maybe just injecting her with blood gave her a little bit of power, because she was able to flick the light switches in the house and turn the lights on. Unless Vecna was just happening to hang out there, and that's why the lights were flickering in season 2. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe. The Duffer Brothers have admitted mistakes that they did. There was, I don't know what season it was. It was maybe 3. Where it was Will's birthday canonically on the show, and they didn't celebrate it on the show, so they have to like change the lore of Will's birthday now. Yeah. So they have backtracked and changed some stuff. So maybe it was in season.
Supposedly they made they took out some of the pictures Will's older brother was taking in season 1 to make him seem less creepy. It's still going to be creepy, but I guess
he looks creepy.
Yeah, he looks like a creepy perv kind of guy. Like it's just like, and the fact that he was taking pictures of her when she was undressing, like, oh, okay, well,
he's just creepy.
That's I mean, with consent, it's not creepy, but when you're just kind of doing it like across the fence and through their window, that's really creepy.
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of looks a little weird, but that's okay. That's okay. What'd you think? Did you have a favorite character? Because I feel like a lot of people's favorite character has changed after season 4.
Pizza guy.
Pizza guy. There's no way you'd think I'm thinking of Pizza Guy.
You were thinking Pizza Guy's the best character? What?
Yeah, he was my favorite. Pizza Guy.
No, man. No, the conspiracy theorist guy. He's my favorite character.
Oh, really? That guy?
Yeah, I love him. Like I
He is
love.
pretty good.
He's been probably the highlight of all the seasons, and since he's got so much more screen time, this season it was absolutely fantastic seeing him. Be
He is pretty cool. Yeah, he's pretty
his
entertaining.
parts gotten bigger every season, so I love seeing him do stuff. He's always entertaining. He's a really good actor. He kind of reminds me of Paul Giamatti.
A little bit. A
He's
little
got
bit,
that.
yeah.
He's got that vibe, like the way he acts and talks and looks. It's very similar to Paul Giamatti. So I like him a lot. He's probably one of my favorite characters in the show. But who are you speaking of?
Eddie. Eddie's cool, man. That's what I like. I like Eddie. He's got that guitar, man. He's got.
Oh yeah, well he's like the new guy. Yeah, he is great. And even before, because they split season 4 into 2 parts. Even before part 2 came out, he was giving me Metallica vibes, and then he did the Metallica song, which we talked about a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago. Like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Metallica's my favorite band, so gonna see
Yeah,
him.
he just radiates coolness. I don't
Yeah,
know. He just seems like I want to hang out with that guy.
yeah, he seems really cool, and he actually got to hang out with Metallica at Lollapalooza. He played with
Oh,
them.
really?
He played Master Puppets with them in the back room.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a video I saw on YouTube. You can probably look it up. He's yeah, he got to meet him and played with him a little bit, and then they Metallica went out later and played Master Puppets again for Lollapalooza. So
I'm glad. That makes me happy because
and
it's like
and they signed his guitar from the show.
really.
He's like James. I think James Hetfield was like, "So you want us to ruin your guitar?" And he's like, "Yes, please." And they,
Please ruin
they all sign it.
Please take it. Please take it.
Please sign it. Yeah.
Well,
That's
I think
awesome.
overall, just the music in the Stranger Things, they do a good job with it. It's not like overbearing, but they also pick songs that like they're songs that are popular, but they're not like you turn on the radio and they're on the radio still type of songs like Queen.
Well, hell, they played
With
Metallica's
One.
Four Horsemen in season 3, I think, or season 2. Uh, what's her face's Max's brother? Can't remember
Yep.
his name. He was playing
Yeah.
it. Yeah, he was playing it sometime in season 2 or season 4 in his room. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's period.
The
the
Duffer
time.
Brothers like Metallica, I think.
Well, that's good because
I
they're
think-
good. They're a great band.
I think they like them a little bit. But yeah, Eddie was cool. The show is just good, man. The show's just good. The only really parts I didn't really enjoy that much was the stuff with 11. That was my problem.
Yeah,
11 was
11 was the downer, and like it's like you kind of watch it for the powers, but just like it was so annoying. It took so long for her to
yeah, her
lose
story kind of got
powers and
boring.
get them
It felt like we
back.
saw it already. Well, we did kind of see it already. We saw
Yeah,
bits and pieces.
yeah. I just think that trope of like losing
Taking
something,
somebody's
like losing something and just getting it back, is you're just kind of like you're just fluffing.
delaying.
You're just delaying the show. You're just adding fluff for whatever reason. Like I had a big problem with it in Star Trek Discovery also in season 1. The ship in Star Trek Discovery uses spores, like mushroom mycelia spores, to like travel like anywhere in the universe in an instant. And so they had one episode like, oh, it's all gone. So they spent the whole next episode like planting, like seeding a planet so it would grow fast so they could have more spores. It's like you literally could have just said you didn't run out and you could have just kept the show going. So you wasted a whole episode getting the thing back that you said you ran out of. I'm just like things like that. Like you're taking the wind out of a story by like creating a problem that didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Instead of telling the ongoing story of what's supposed to be happening in the show.
Well, I think you and me will be the same mindset of tell a good story, even if that means making it shorter. Whatever you got to do to tell the best story possible, that's what I want. I don't want like don't prolong so I can see this character longer. If there's stories done in the show or movie or whatever, we're done there. We don't need to continue.
Yeah, like pacing is king, and the thing is, and especially in some TV shows that are so short, like just padding out an episode with like stuff to do with no real reason. You just took their powers away so you could waste time later getting them back. I'm just like, why would you? I mean, like with 11, it was a little bit forgivable because they claim that she was gonna be stronger after this. they still took a long, like way too long doing it. That's my biggest gripe about the
Well, it's
season,
pretty much the
really.
whole. We spent probably, I don't know exact times, but like I feel like we were spending time with Elle over an hour at least, over 2 hours maybe of her just like sitting in a salt bath.
Yeah, but we also had like Jim Hopper in Russia and all that stuff
Well,
going
that's,
on
yeah,
there,
go
and
with that.
then
That
we
stuff was
had
more.
we had the stuff with the other kids because like everyone was separated this season. Like before, everyone's been pretty much together. Everyone's all over the place. We got
People in California,
Miss
people in
Byers and
Alaska.
we had Miss Byers in Russia with the Paul Giamatti character,
Yeah,
the conspiracy theorist guy who's my favorite, and then these Russian guys who were super shady. All that stuff was super entertaining and fun. Um, we
yeah. The,
had
the show takes
the
place in Hawkins, which is I think it's Pennsylvania. Pretty sure it's Pennsylvania. Then it takes place in where
Illinois.
is it? Illinois? Is that where it is?
Yeah, because they go to Chicago
I don't remember, man.
to
Okay,
meet
it's in
to meet A.
Illinois. Then it takes place in like in LA or not, maybe not. Somewhere in California is where they're going to school. Alaska, Russia, and then they kind of like do like kind of like they go to Utah, Nevada,
Mhm.
like
Like a
Colorado.
road
So
trip.
we're kind of all over the place here.
Yeah, it takes place in a lot of places. They do a good job bouncing around, giving everyone enough screen time, except for Elle. Maybe we've got too much, but she is kind of like the star, like the star of the show, kind of like
The star.
the person with like the powers.
She's the North
I
Star.
get it. Um, that other than that, the one thing narratively that bothered me just a little bit, I wish they would have.
This Mike's annoying.
I wish they would have spread the Vecna stuff out throughout the entire season instead of just backloading it, because that was probably my biggest problem with the entire season was just that it just was like the last episode was like or last couple episodes was just exposition dump, like an hour of exposition dump in the middle of like all the other stuff
Yeah.
that's happening. And I mean, it was good. We needed it. It would be nice if it was like spread out a little bit. I guess they wanted to have a reveal, but I mean, like it's not bad. Like we never gave this season a number at the beginning, but I'd still probably give the season a 9. I mean, the thing that's keeping it from a 10 are these issues I had. They're not huge. They're just like they would have made things just a little bit better to push it up above that 9. But I would probably give the season a 9. Personally,
Forgot about the number thing.
We didn't do the number thing. I mean, I mean, all these complaints that I'm saying, like, they're not huge. They're just like they're keeping us from that 10. You know, we're like we're really good. What
Is
number?
a 10 achievable though? I feel like a 10 for me. I don't know if I'll ever be able to give anything a 10.
I don't know.
I don't think a 10's achievable because a 10 would be something I would make. There's always going to be something that I would change in a show or movie. But I agree with you too. I think a 9 overall for the entire series though. I'm going to give it like a 7.8. Those two middle seasons are they can be rough at times.
Oh, remember the 8 episode?
Yeah.
That was the lowest point of the entire series.
What would you give the whole series though?
I'd probably give it an 8. Because
An 8? Okay.
season 1 is like a solid 8.5, 9. Season 2 is
Not as high.
7. 7. I'd probably say season 3 is probably like a 7.5. It was better.
So I mean, it's staying pretty positive for you overall then.
Yeah,
Even
it's
those
good.
worst seasons, they're still pretty good, huh?
Being able to binge it all, because I stopped after season 2. I didn't watch season 3 and 4 until my wife and I were binging them all. So like I did not watch season 3 live. So binging it was a better experience, I think. I think if I was watching season 3 on its own, I may not have had as high an opinion on it, but I went straight from season 3 into season 4. So
Gotcha.
I had like it was still good enough for me to catch up on season 4, and then this is even getting even better than it was before. So I'm like, it was great, you know, being able to watch it that way. I think season 3 would have been frustrating, waiting for the break. Season 4 had an epic ending, and I'm excited to see the next season. Like whenever it does come out. Like
Sure.
I don't have that disappointment that I might have had with season 3, because season 3 was
Who knows when?
because season 3
When is
was
season
so,
5?
I don't
Do
know.
we know when? I mean, how many? It took years to make season 4, so I'll see you in 2026. That'll be the next time we talk about Stranger Things.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
So,
But yeah.
got any more thoughts, David? David, you got any more thoughts?
I don't know. Overall, this is really good. It was pretty satisfying ending. Like I said, most of my problems are just kind of nitpicks. I just wish they would have done a little bit less exposition. Did the powers thing not take so long? But it is what it is, and it's freaking solid TV. It's some of the better stuff that's on TV right now.
I would give it. I would say, because it does get spooky. It does. It does. I'm not bothered by the spook. The spook doesn't bother me, but I can see how the spook could bother a lot of people. And I would say, if you're freaked out by like spook and horror, maybe don't watch. Maybe watch the first season and decide. If you think season 1 is kind of spooky, it definitely doesn't get better. That's really my only
That's
takeaway.
true.
If you're not as bothered by spook, it should be a must watch.
Yeah, it's definitely a must watch. It's fantastic. It's on Netflix. Almost everyone has Netflix. And if you don't have Netflix,
I don't know, not so much anymore.
well, yeah, yeah. I guess they have had a bunch of people fall off, but it's definitely worth watching. It's worth borrowing someone's Netflix account for.
Don't do that. Netflix told us they don't like that.
Oh yes, you should subscribe to Netflix for a month and then binge it.
Yes, and then no, you use the free 15-day trial, and then you get rid of it.
Binge it, and then you can yeah. And then you
I
can
would
wait
never
to-
share any account ever for legal reasons. I will never share any accounts. Definitely nobody uses any other accounts that I have.
or that I have.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, that's I think maybe who knows what we'll do next. I think we might do Bullet Train next. Who knows?
I don't
God
know-
only knows.
I don't know if anything else is coming out soon. So I mean,
We'll see. I do have a backup plan if we really run out of stuff, and I'm just gonna spring it on you, and you're just gonna have to react.
well,
Someday we might get a podcast where David's gonna be completely just like who knows.
yeah.
I think during the next time of our podcast, the Lord of the Rings show is gonna start. I think, or might be a day or two after.
It's starting up that soon, really.
Yeah, and there also the HBO Game of Thrones show. I don't think I'm gonna watch that, but if we'll see how the reviews are. Reviews are gonna depend on if I watch that show or not. I think if
Yeah.
it gets like overwhelmingly positive, like you gotta see this stuff. Okay, but otherwise, I'm gonna watch the Lord of the Rings show and be equally disappointed.
Well, we will definitely have to talk about Lord of the Rings when that comes out, because man, that's gonna be a fun train wreck. I just saw an article. I just sent it to Brian the other day, where like
Yeah,
Peter Jackson offered to read the scripts and share his insight and knowledge.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Yeah, we're good," and I'm like,
don't do that. I mean, at least let him like look at it. There's got to be a reason. There had to be a reason. So would he just tear it apart, you think, and then go public?
I mean, maybe, or it's too late, and
Well, it's definitely too late. The show's done. I mean, they might be doing very, very final touches on it, or I don't know exactly where they are, but like the show's coming out soon, so
yeah, it's
see.
probably too late. I mean, I don't know how long ago. The news just came out, so I'm assuming it was a while ago where he offered, but that's just not a good look that he offered, and they were like, "Yeah, nah." I'm like, ugh. Peter Jackson. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of the Hobbit movies, but the Lord of the Rings movies were still great, and he kept it pretty.
Well, there
cute
was
and
somebody, I forgot. We were talking about this years ago. They edited down the Hobbit movie to one movie, and I watched that. It's pretty good. if they just
if you cut out all the fluff, like if you just keep
it's not bad, because the Hobbit book itself is not a big book. It's
it's
not a
small
long
book.
read.
And they made it like longer than the Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, why?
When the Lord of the Rings is just like it's like 3 or 4 times the size of the Hobbit book.
At least.
Yeah.
It's
So
like, yeah, I mean, because The Hobbit's a shorter book than the other books too. It could be like 4 times longer than The Hobbit.
yeah, I don't know
All said
exactly,
and
but
done.
all I can confirm is that the Lord of the Rings book, it's not even though there's books, is longer than the Hobbit. That's all I can say about that.
And the Hobbit movies are longer than Lord of the Rings, which makes absolutely zero sense. Even the extended editions, like they come up pretty close.
Yeah, they do. They do. Two more things is that I still need this year. There's still one thing I need. Another thing is going to be another train wreck. Wheel of Time season 2. I just want to see the trailer. I just want to see something for that, just to see how bad it's going to get. I feel like it's not. I don't know, man. It's going to be irredeemable. I think.
they've
I think
they've
it's
released
done after season 2.
they've released a limited behind the scenes trailer. It doesn't really show. It shows some like action shots they're doing. It's like kind of mostly behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
They showed another one of those god awful looking waygates in the like with weeds all over it. I'm like, oh man, waygates were supposed to be like small and like hidden, like you wouldn't know that they were waygates. Like they just changed so much stuff for the sake of changing it for like
Yeah,
no
so
good reason. I don't know. Like
you have that to look forward to.
oh
I hope you're excited. And there's one other thing that I know we're all excited for is Invincible. Give us an Invincible trailer, man. I want Invincible.
I'm looking
If you haven't
forward
seen
to
Invincible, we haven't talked about Invincible on the podcast.
oh maybe
really
that
at
could be
all.
something we could do maybe.
But it's super good. Go
Fantastic.
watch it before we even talk about it or anything. Just
Amazon
go watch
Prime.
Invincible.
Yeah.
If you're not a fan of animated things, which I think a lot of people as you get older you think like, oh, that's for kids. I bet you you're wrong.
Not for kids.
I bet you're wrong.
Man. It's a good show. I liked it a lot. And also, I want a real Avatar 2 trailer. It comes out this year, like December.
It does. It does.
We're less than 6 months away from Avatar, and we have one trailer, and it's awful. Give us give us a good trailer, please.
I do need a trailer though. I would like a trailer, but like, are you not going to see it based on a trailer? I kind of want to just go in blind.
Well, I mean,
It's like it's gonna go.
well,
I'm not gonna go not see it.
I mean, I'm not gonna not see it too because my wife really liked the first one, and we want to go see the second one, and I know we want a podcast on the second one. I'm going to see it. I just want to like see a trailer that's like that'll get me pumped to go see it. You know what I mean? Because that's what the trailer is supposed to do, is try to make you excited. And the first Avatar True trailer, I got to tell you, zero excitement. And I'm like, wow, that's a bunch of scenes with zero context.
It looks good though.
Yeah, but the first one still looks good. So I don't. It was.
We're only here for the VFX. I don't care about the story anymore. I want the VFX. I'm not here for the story.
You can rewatch the first one.
We are going to rewatch it before we go see Avatar 2. We've already discussed this.
Yeah, I know.
We've already talked about this. This is going to happen.
Absolutely. All right.
But,
well,
yeah.
I think that's it for this week. Some Stranger Things, some San Diego Comic-Con, things we're excited for, things we're dreading. You know, all of the above, all the things.
You get everything today. It was just chilling out, talking, maxing, relaxing podcast.
The smorgasbord of all of the different things happening right now.
Yeah, maybe we'll be more one eye focused next podcast.
Unfortunately, there's just no video game news, really.
There might be.
Video game news is...
I haven't been paying attention to any video game stuff the past week or two.
It's been dry, dude. Like, not much.
Yeah, it was kind of like the beginning of the year was kind of like video game land, where like we got like literally every video game that came out this year, with all the good ones, or at least the AAA ones. There's some, indies that are always going to pop up, but the beginning of the year was for video games, and I think we're going to be heading more towards the end of the year is when we're going to get some other stuff.
Oh, and then the middle of the year, like there was no E3. There's Microsoft's game conference, but that wasn't all that exciting. I mean, it was nice to see Starfield, and Diablo 4, but that was about it. Like 2 trailers out of the
this stuff was
stuff's
supposed to come out at the end of the year, or early next year.
It's supposed to be out within 12 months of the show, so
yeah,
probably sometime next year.
Yeah, we're living in the drought for video games right now, but that's okay. That's okay. It's not like It's not like every single human being that plays video games doesn't have a giant backlog. So
that's true. I started The Witcher 2, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we all got. There's a big backlog. I finished the first Witcher book. Gotta say, it's a little sexist and way different. It's Not a 1-to-1 to what we know. Not a 1-to-1. I thought I was Team Yennefer this whole time. Turns out the first book is making me not Team Yennefer.
Wow.
Kind of sucks. Kind of sucks. Not really. Triss is kind of like really nice, and Yennefer is not. But who knows? The dick wants what it wants, so.
That it does.
Alrighty.
Well, it doesn't help the casting in the show for Triss doesn't look anything like the Triss in the video games. If it looked more like the Triss in the video games, it might be more of a competition. But in the show, in the show at least, Yennefer is way better looking than Triss. So.
Yes. Also, Yennefer has a way bigger part right now.
Yeah.
Than Triss does. So we haven't been able to see like the personality of Triss. We've seen the personality of Yennefer, and she's nicer in the at least from my experience from reading the first book. She's far nicer.
Well, beginning of Witcher 2, you start off in bed with her, so I mean, like she can't be that bad.
Well, yeah, that's really all she is kind of in the in the first book. She's kind of just like mean, and that's what she is. Like that's yeah. Maybe we'll talk about that in the future. Who knows?
Maybe. All right. Well, thanks.
Email David at synthaholics@yahoo.com. I just had to get that in there.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Until next time.
Bye.
May the strange things be with you.
Whatever that means.
Strange things forever.
Wakanda forever.
Strange things forever.
Stranger Things, Wakanda.
Stranger Wakanda. See ya.